Have you joined any cults lately? I feel like I wanted to ask you how your weekend was, but that's what's at the top of my mind today.
Personally, I wouldn't join a cult, but I would lead a cult because I ooze natural charisma.
Damn.
Yeah.
What?
Like, it's very easy for people to follow me, sawa. Like, your girlfriends follow me everywhere. You think I can't parlay that into a career as a cult leader?
Anyway.
Welcome to episode 27 of Breaking Hertz. Kama kawaida, it's your boy Hafare, aka Mr. Metronome, aka your girlfriend's boyfriend, aka Rodney Malik Casino. Na kama kawaida,
it's Sookie, aka Sookie Murage, aka Sookie.jpg, aka Uzumaki, aka Jessica Rabbit.
Yes.
Have you joined any cults lately? I feel like I wanted to ask you how your weekend was, but that's what's at the top of my mind today.
Personally, I wouldn't join a cult, but I would lead a cult because I ooze natural charisma.
Damn.
Yeah.
What?
Like, it's very easy for people to follow me, sawa. Like, your girlfriends follow me everywhere. You think I can't parlay that into a career as a cult leader?
Anyway, thank you for joining us for yet another week.
Wait, before you continue, somebody asked me this week why I'm called Mr. Metronome.
Uh-huh.
I told him it's because I go back and forth between your girlfriends.
Okay, so the girlfriend stealing cult. I have an album for you.
Thank you, please.
Yeah,
please.
I came armed today.
Please.
Even leaders need their Bibles.
Check, if you want to follow a strong, charismatic man and you have no problem drinking camel milk and living in the desert, holla at your boy. Holla at your boy. Your cult here we'll call it something nice. Something good, like something fun that can attract investors. Like
what?
We have an agency working on the copy right now. So yeah,
Okay.
My weekend was good.
Yeah.
Hapa na pale, usherati kidogo, pombe kidogo, the usual.
Ulienda any nice music gigs?
No.
Over the weekend?
No, I did not. I don't think there is anything that really caught my eye this week, unless maybe Unts. But I really didn't feel like it this weekend. Now, plus next weekend, kuna so much. Okay, this coming weekend, because it's going to come out on a Thursday, na situ Monday. There's so many gigs. There's Nairobi R&B this weekend. What else? Espresso Live.
Yes.
There might be
Espresso Live at the Mist.
Exactly.
Don't
There's a lot
miss
going
it.
on this weekend, so hopefully we'll tap into that. But anyway, let me get into what I've been listening to this week. Okay. But the first one was 3-piece Set by Currency. EP dropped in 2020. I've been listening to a lot of pandemic music recently. I feel like a lot of guys express themselves creatively when they thought they were all going to die.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh my God, if I get COVID nikufe, what will people remember me? I must make something to solidify my legacy. So anyway, 3-song EP, a lot of Brazilian samples. Not much I can say about it. But the production as always is very good, very unique. And again, Brazilian jazz, Brazilian funk. For the win.
For the win, for sure.
There was that. And then what else did I listen to from pandemic? How I'm Feeling Now by the GOAT, Charlie XCX. Me by the I'm minister of Charlie XCX. I'll say it here. It's been 10 years of standing and I will not stop. Starcha. So basically, from my notes, one of the things I'm going to say straight up, this might be one of the best pop albums ever made. Ever. Ever. Like, if you told me this was the greatest pop album of all time, I would not be mad. It's amazing. Like, it's just a very solid punch of hyper pop. Like, from the beginning to the end, unapigwa ngumi straight in the chest with just like a big glove of hyper pop. Imagine too if Mike Tyson was an eagle. That's how it would feel. If Mike Tyson had bunny ears and would say, ooh, ooh. Yeah, that's how it feels. Literally.
If you said that Charlie XCX was mother.
Yes. Yes, that's what it feels like. This is basically pop music turned all the way up to 11. So the meme on Spinal Tap. Like our amps don't go to 10. We turn it up all the way to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally pop music turned up all the way to 11. It's everything I love about pop music. It's very ambitious. The production is very, very, like, it's all over the place, but it makes sense. It's like controlled chaos, basically. The songwriting is great. I feel like more than anything else, the pandemic forced a lot of people to just, especially artists, to deal with some things they've been avoiding and just come out of their shell because, you're not performing anymore. There are no gigs. The only thing you can do is sit and write. And if you're sitting and writing, you become a bit more critical of what you're putting out. So
But it's also connecting with people that, like, of course, there's a lot of music from Kitambo to listen to, but like finding new narratives or like narratives that represent today, the things that we're going through right now. That was what I think pandemic music did for me. So I felt like, as an audience member, nilikuwa seated in that way.
For me, pandemic music felt very present.
Yeah.
Like in the like ni sisi ni hapa tu, like this is what we're going through, this is what we're living. And there's a lot of like it deals a lot with like saving a relationship. Because I saw an interview where she said like she was about to break up with her man of 7 years, and then the pandemic forced them to get back together, live in the same house for a very, very long time. So that really saved their relationship, and that's what the album is talking about. But I really love it. And something I love about the album is when the beat breaks and then Charlie just comes in with the most seductive voice. Anakuimbia kwa masikio tu, ni kama mimi naambiwa sauti ya kutoa nyoka pangoni. I love it. So yeah, make sure you check out How I'm Feeling Now, Charlie XCX. Moving on, Big Money by Money Man. This is like, of all the guys who make aspirational music for criminals, like Young Blue, Key Glock, Sada Baby. I love that shit, by the way. Money Man sits at the top. I have never listened to a rapper who made me feel bad for not being a criminal, except for Money Man. He makes you, just the name, Money Man, he makes you feel bad. There's a song on this tape where the hook is just like, I showed niggas how to get it, but they're scared. That's just the hook. Go out there and make some bread, my boy. This life is all about getting paid. That's the entire theme of the album, and I love it. Like, forget everything else. This is at the very top. If aspirational gangster rap had a messiah, it would be him. Like, if there was a cult leader or gangster rap, aspirational criminal music, it would be Money Man, and I love it. I love how nonsensical the things he says are. I love how much it makes me feel like I can do anything. It's like Rick Ross, but if being Rick Ross was a superpower, he would have it. He doesn't, like, you know the way some rappers can make you feel bad that you're not rich? He makes you feel bad that you're not trying to be rich. That's the thing. Like, go out there and get it. I love it so much. Production-wise, it goes from 808s, very heavy 808s at the beginning. Transitions. The second half is very soul sample heavy, a lot of Kanye-like beats. The first half is a lot of like Sluga type beats, very heavy trap. But still, it's so much fun to listen to, especially if you love music that just makes you like catch, una imagine a better life for yourself by any means necessary. I'm not telling you to be a criminal, but I'm not telling you not to be a criminal. So this is a decision between you and God. If you're listening to this,
to embrace a life of crime.
If you listen to Money Man and his cohorts, who I love, the Young Nudies, the Key Glocks, it's not anime. Young Blue, Babyface Ray, all those guys will make you feel like being a criminal is the best thing in the world. Anyway, there was that. And then finally, The Lion of Suda by Benson. Nice. Now, when I listened to this album the first time round, I started laughing in track 1.
Why?
Because track 1 feels like one of those songs that you can play in the middle of a Nigerian movie when the lead actress has been swindled out of her inheritance by an evil stepmother. Or at something about Chase My Dreams. It felt very like Oishe. But yeah, it's a good song, but to me, it just felt like it would be fit in an Hollywood movie completely. And maybe that's the move. Maybe Antaka sync licensing.
It's a 420 mood, yeah.
Exactly. I love the production so much on the album. Raw is a hit. Raw is a hit.
That was my first thought.
Even me, when I listened to it, I was like, okay, this is a hit song. And then like every alafu, it reminds me of Ingoma ya kina Waka Floka itango aje. No Hands.
Yeah.
Where it's the best version of every artist. You cannot say like Okelo Max, Dex, Bensol, nobody came up short. Kila mtu alibring their A game. Kwanza Dex has these pocket flows he gets into. Where he switches it up with, unajibamba tu as a listener kwa nyumba, una vibe. Yeah. But that song is a hit.
I saw something that you said on your Twitter about Dondosa. How did it feel for you flow-wise? Because it's after the more like emotional, like you just listen to Mudhaka, Zinia, and then Dondosa comes. What did you think about that?
I don't think Dondosa should have been on this cut of the album. Personally, it feels like, ukisikiza Renaissance, and there's church girl in the middle, and you're like, okay, this is a bit... It's not fitting the mood. It's not a bad song. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I'm just saying the vibe of the album did not fit that song. That would have been a great solo single. Maybe a cut on a deluxe edition. Like if an extended version, that would have made sense. But having it on the album, maybe that was, I think, second half of the album, I feel it tails off kiasi, and that is part of the reason I feel that way. Even when you mention there's Zinia, there's Mudaka, it feels a bit like maybe the first half is so heavy, takes in so much energy. By the time you get to the second half of the album, you're a bit drained just listening to it. You're like, we have 15 tracks, kidogo.
But is it draining, or is it like considering the day and the celebrations?
Okay, yes, pia kuna hiyo, like, and then there's so much,
and the activities of the holiday, of like it's Bensoul's holiday, and like this is the vibe.
Yeah.
But so maybe the sequencing was supposed to be an ode to just the way that things could be. Like,
def.
Unafika point, yes, like umetulia, but unaamka, unaendelea kudance, because like your steam has come back up.
Personally, I am not a purveyor of the Holy Hub.
Of festivities.
I am not a purveyor of the Holy Hub, so it might not be music for me per se.
But it was still music that like everybody could listen to.
Oh, I vibe with it so much. Oh, there's this song, Napepea. Hey, I love that song. Hey, Napepea. Honestly, that's my favorite track of the album. And I love how everybody has a different favorite, meaning that there's something for everyone on that tape.
There is.
You will enjoy it so much. And as somebody who's known Bensoul professionally and personally since before he even got signed to
Soul
Generation, this is the culmination of a lot of hard work. Like years of putting in effort. This is like the big culmination. There was a big ass launch event. The album is being streamed everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. This is like 10 years, more than 10 years of hard work down the line.
10 years, yeah.
Now this is like Sawa. This is your coming out party. This is Bensoul.
Yeah.
And it's so lovely to see how well received the album has been. And it's going to be on rotation for me. Definitely. There are some songs on there. I know personally, Raw will be the next national anthem.
Yeah.
National anthem saini sikutambui by Wakardinali. And by the way, trust me, I called that shit in December. I called that in December. When the album came out, I tweeted, what's the best song on the Wakardinali album and why is it Sikutambui? And Sikutambui, they shot the video on Friday, Amasato? On Thursday. They shot the video on Thursday night at the mall, the rooftop.
Oh, nice.
So that was my week. Yako?
All right. So my week was a bit mellow. I listened to some rap and made an exception for 20 to listen to Bensoul, who I listened to on Friday as well. My first project for the week, I'm just going to go through the name of the project, the songs that I liked, and why I liked them. I liked Glorious Game. This is Black Thought, El Michel's Affair. I don't know how to say it. El Michel Affair.
It's not Michel's.
Michelle.
Whatever. Kiingereza ilikuja na meli, acha kutusumbua.
Obviously, I'm a huge Black Thought fan. I feel like, okay, my dad isn't that old, so I wouldn't call him my dad, but like he's my like sonic father figure. Like he's one of the people that has aged so well sonically to me. And every time I see something new from him, I'm there. Like, always. So this one was just another one of those. I took two things from Holloway and Alter Ego, which are songs on the project. It's more of him coming into realizing that, like, yes, he's gotten to this point in his career, but there's so much to learn, there's so much to teach, there's so much to impart, which is why I called him my father figure.
Are you in a cult?
No.
The cult of Black Thought. My God, Jesus, that's an amazing cult name.
The cult of Black Thought. No, like
that is an amazing cult name. The cult of Black Thought.
We'll get to why Black Thought in itself is such a great artist name later on. Yes. But so from Holloway, he said that a significant amount of trauma will change you. To keep getting in and out of drama will drain you. I thought that was great because you just need to chill, really. Buzz par excellence. And then there's on Alter Ego where he talks about like losing his steam around 35, where like it just felt impossible to keep making music or like keep doing the things that he was doing when he got to 35. But he's managed to push through and now he's 51. So
he's 51?
Yes, he's
Jesus.
51.
Yeesh.
So losing his personal drive after 35 didn't stop him. So I think I'm definitely going to be going back for another listen. But I thoroughly enjoyed Glorious Game. And also he says that, okay, no, let me not get into that actually. But The next project I listened to was Just a Band's Echo, Dawn. If I had to pick a favorite song from this project, it would be all of them. Just because, wow, like Just a Band releasing something last week, I needed it. I needed it bad. I needed to listen to If I Could bad. I needed to listen to it as remastered, as clear, as thoughtful, as just,
relax,
wow,
calm down.
wow. Wow, I was swimming in my feelings. It was beautiful. And then you get to Watu and it's new. It's more them where they're at right now. It's just more about talking about like your communities, the people that you're around, the people that you love, the people that you see. I loved everything about it. I'll definitely be going back to it as well. It's a short project.
I had somebody tell me the other day they didn't like it. So I was like, yeesh, really? But because we were at the event.
But they're remastered, no? Like,
yeah, they're remastered. It's old songs, I know, plus one new one. And we were at the actual like event. So I want to give it another listen because it was like, yeah, okay, sawa basi. If somebody, but anyway, different strokes for different folks.
I feel like sampling something like this, like a remastered project, a project where like you've already had most of the songs, so it's just a compilation that like reintroduces you to the band. I think expecting it to be just a band wamenyamaza for so long wananipea bangers sasa. Nah, it's where they're at. That's what projects are about. It's about what the artist is trying to communicate about, like the stage of their development. So maybe we'll see more from them.
Of course we will.
Yeah. But definitely I enjoyed this, and listening to it was really food for my heart. Lion of Suda, we've talked a bit about it.
Shout out to Zinnia again. The cult of Zinnia Manasseh, proud member,
but also
prospective leader.
But like also having like known Ben Soul for all these years, I was really not just proud. I was just immersed. I was swimming. I was happy. I was very on the clouds, if you know what I mean. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. My favorite songs on this project were Raw. I liked Midaya for 20.
Ooh, I even had in my notes, Midaya for 20 feels like, I love how thump it feels like Houston hip hop. And then always adding like horns makes everything sound more grand. It sounds so successful.
Exactly. Like no one's like stoners can be successful. That's what I saw for myself.
Stoners have been successful for a very long time.
Stoners been successful, yeah. And then on like vocal collaborations, I really enjoyed Same Page and Cheesy. Same Page, Mudhaka, you did amazing.
Oh yes, my God. Mudhaka. She was singing her heart out, by the way.
Wow.
Paliuko should be very proud. Mike, ambia sister yako yani mnoma.
And Zinnia and Cheesy as well. I love a Ben Soul Zinnia collaboration. I want to hear more of that. I wish I could hear more of
Personally,
that.
On this show, we will never say anything bad about Zinnia.
Ever.
I told you, the cult of Zinnia Manasseh. Mini member.
Finally, I listened to What Happened Was Deluxe by Drum. He's gone back to Drum. He was Shelly, formerly known as Drum. Yeah, like on this project, like it was released under Drum. And like I'd even forgotten why he changed his name back to Shelly. And apparently it's just because, like after Broccoli and Cha-Cha, like everyone kind of knew him for that kind of music. But he's trying to make a transition into like more soulful R&B, which is what this project was. It came out last year, but this is the deluxe edition. I enjoyed it because he has this playfulness that's very Zach Fox, but like he's still like dropping toxic bars like Kina Division. Like it's the kind of energy I like in anyone I'm with, really. Like you're goofy, but pia, you're gonna listen to some Division, we're gonna joke around, you're gonna say some shit like, there's a song on there called Wham, and it goes, whammy out your jammies, whammy out your panties. That's a double whammy. No, it's it's good.
Tomato, boo, tomato.
On the deluxe edition.
Maybe when he delivers, it might sound better.
Yes, he's singing it. So I'm just gonna say the way that the bars came out to me and why they stood out to me. That's why I liked it. Whammy out your jammies, whammy out your panties. That's a double whammy. It's a double whammy, man. You can't hate on that. And
I can't hate on anything. You forget that.
You hate on everything.
You can hate on anything.
You're literally a hater. That's your brand. You're lying on the internet. You're lying on YouTube.
Anyway. Lying on YouTube. I've never said I'm not a hater.
just no. Unani
Gaslight.
Yes.
Wow, okay, sawa basi. No, hapana mimi nakudanganya tu. There's a difference.
You're not denying my reality. You're just okay.
I'm just lying to you.
I get you. So the club mix of Wham on this particular album is actually hilarious because, okay, it's hilarious to me. I'm sorry if like it wasn't supposed to be hilarious. I just felt like the beat and knowing like drums energy, it sounded like something that should become like a TikTok sound, like this boom 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 boom, and then like it's Wham. It's what happened was.
It's Whammy out your jammies.
What I'd describe this album as is actually it's music to when you're going to steal people's girlfriends. Actually, this is the album. So it has a lot of like there's unrequited love. There's sleeping with someone's girlfriend who is not your girlfriend. There's how she makes space for you. How she like.
Was this album written about me?
Wait, check it too. Is
this play about us?
I listened to this project and you were first in mind.
Leo, nikitoka hapa, that's the first thing I'm listening to.
True. I'm sure Drum has some things.
And you know
nice
the thing with Drum is I feel like he deserves like a bit more recognition because Drake literally flipped his sample and turned it into Hotline Bling.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I remember that.
When Hotline Bling came out, I remember the date dropped because I used to have notifications on for OVO Radio on SoundCloud. It dropped and I was in Tao. I was at, there used to be a Pizza Hut opposite Nini. UN on university.
Yes.
I was at that Pizza Hut and I just got the notification and I was waiting for a pizza and I was like, okay, let me listen to this. And it was like Hotline Bling in brackets Cha-Cha remix. And yeah, Drake stole his own flow. Non-flow stealer, Drake. Anyway.
All right, yeah. So that's what I listened to last week.
So, as you all know on this show, I am poor.
Maliza maji na tumeanza tu sahi. Anyway,
I am poor. Meaning I don't have a car. I spend a lot of time on matatus, specifically matatus are Rongai. And it's such an interesting way to consume music. Because when you're in a mat, you'll always hear a song that you've never heard before.
Yeah.
Especially on a matatu that isn't playing radio. Because if you're playing radio, because it's the usual thing. If you're listening to, I don't know, I think there's a theory that the richer the place you live is, the more affluent it is, the worse the matatus are. Like the more money you have, like matatu ya Lavington, ukikalia ujikatu unapata tetanus.
Yeah.
That's how bad they are. But matatu ya Kiambu Road, inakupeleka Thindigwa, hiyo matatu ni poa. Like you'll be comfortable in a gonga, the music is great, they have a screen. Same thing, like the more working class people live in a neighborhood, the better the matatus will be.
Yeah.
It means better music, more mixes. And I was just wondering, how has the matatu scene grown to the point where it shapes Kenyan music? Because it'll segue into the next thing I want to talk about. Because if you really think about it, if you want to get discovered right now as a musician, let's say you're making dancehall or Gengetone or any club-friendly genre, even Afropop, whatever, the easiest way to actually get discovered is to get played on a matatu mix. Because you'll go to radio, you'll go to radio and you'll give it to the presenter and they'll ask you for cash or they won't play your song. Like, for real. They will not play your music. You put it on streaming, but how many songs go on streaming sites every day? Unless you're getting playlisted, unless you're getting like, you have somebody in there who can help you, like, just an algorithm kidogo, there might be, or maybe you blow up on TikTok, but if DJ Kalonje puts your song on a mix, how many people do you think see that mix every day? Working at a job, working a job. And these are working class people. These are people who like, they're probably stuck in traffic for 45 minutes. So all they're consuming is just what's being played in front of them.
It's mass transit, Pia. Like even if they're going to be there for those 45 minutes and it rotates and someone, like another round of...
Yeah, it's always a new batch of people.
23 people are in the matatu listening to the same music that those guys listen to. Even if like, you're going in with headphones, you're going in with whatever, like... You're likely to Shazam it if you're not in your headphones.
Yeah, even with headphones, sometimes it's so loud that
you
can't actually just listen on your headphones unless you have the really good noise cancelling ones.
Yeah, or like the groove can find you because the thing about it is like these pods, I can I can hear the music that I'm like listening to very clearly, but like if I'm in a jab that's like super shaky, super nini, like the groove will find me too, and then I'll be like, okay, saa acha nizime tu nisikize hii music.
Yeah, because I was in a matatu on Saturday night, I think, and the music they were playing was amazing, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was Gengetone, and I was like, why haven't I had this before? Who's been who's been hiding this from me? I don't have the time now to go on YouTube and then now start searching Gengetone Mix 2023 new fresh hot hits.
Did you Shazam it?
I did Shazam it.
when him say like una sound ka ulianza kupanda matatu in like 1998.
Sindio, like
wait, for real? I was just talking shit. I was just talking
nah, like me, I've been a matatu boy my entire life.
Oh my god, I forget you're like older. But
wait, checky, I'm not geriatric. Jesus Christ. Wow. But then I'm not that old. Jeez.
No, my point is like if you're going to search things like that, like I'm seeing you there with like the underscore trying to look for it. But me, I'm like, hey, check him. I have Shazam. I'll just press this button and look, voila. Like,
oh, and then Shazam. Okay.
Oh, Shazam.
I don't have Shazam. I just ask Google like, hey, what is this song? And then you can't really trust Google because it doesn't know. Like it's a matatu, it's loud. The bass is thumping. Google is just listening for just a little bit of the algorithm to figure out what's playing here. Again, I'd rather just ask the matatu guys like, yo, si mnipatie tu mix, uni nani, au mnipatie mix, because half the time it's people I already know, it's people I grew up with like komtaani, so it's not like it's gonna be that hard. But still, matatu, the discovery of music on matatus on public transport is so weird because even with like a song like Matsaronga, by Tunji, its rotation started on Matatu za Rongai.
Yeah.
Because he made the song, it went on YouTube for like 8-9 months, and then it just started hitting like much. Like somebody put it on a mix, put it on a matatu, and then kuna ngoma ya Matatu za Ronga, Evo 2. The next thing I know, I hear it. The first DJ I had playing that song ever was Blinky Bill at the 2017 Diplo show. The one that was in Carnival, I remember. Because I was just sitting at the back and I just had the song and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? And that time the video had like 1,000 views on YouTube. I'm like, what the fuck? How did Blinky get this?
I have a few ideas, but
then the next thing you know,
because like it was circulating a lot, like messages, people, parties, things like that.
Like it's one of those things like, have you heard this new song? Yeah, and it came off a free beat on YouTube. By the way, you know that? Really? The beat was free. The guy like Tunji downloaded a free beat. So yeah, like I love matatus. I love listening to Gengetone. But
like outside of asking, like, because you said that you have a relationship with like the guys that drive and like kange the matatus in Rongai.
Yes.
But like outside of that, have you had a song or a mix that you've enjoyed, and how did you go about like finding out the name?
Oh, see, half the time,
like, especially when like it's one of those situations in a Java, you have to shuka like immediately.
Oh no, always. The good thing about matatu DJs is that they will always self-promotion is in their core. DJ Kalonje presents Hits Not Homework Volume 17. So straight from Wiki Kasarani. Like it'll have all the unnecessary details. They'll give you if you want this mix, get it on Mixcloud. Donate to your DJ. Pochi la biashara. Like those guys are not ashamed on like self-promotion. It's not like you know the way Grouch will just come here and mix and smile and get full in the vibes. No. Those guys will self-promote. Half the mix is just them telling people where to get the actual mix. That's all they say. DJ Kalonje, DJ Demakufu, the baddest of the bad.
So my question to you. The next question is actually just why. What do you think about like this whole debate that people keep bringing up or whatever, where Gengetone is apparently dead, but like you've been in matatus where it's not. So
Gengetone isn't dead. Gengetone
is there. It's just not like it's not as mainstream as it was a couple of years ago. It's like it's the way that like genres in Kenya exist. I think.
We remember when Swat pulled that. I don't know what was he pulled out of his pants in that video. It was a belt or like a whip or something. Do you guys remember that? I can't remember what song it was, but the video was really, really, guys were anticipating it. And then there's a scene where he pulled something out of it. I can't remember what it was, but it was like shared, like screen capped gift, shared on social media by our mamas. Hey, by them tulieni. Ni kijana mdogo. Yeah, but here's the thing. I feel like Gengetone pia, it's the natural evolution of genres like that.
Yeah.
All major genres, the people who actually make them big are never the ones who actually succeed or eat off it.
But they're still making the music. Like Siswat released a project last year.
Yes.
And Nani.
The less said about that, the better.
If it's anyway, if it's a project that's not even a project, if it's a song that's been played very recently, then Coco M played Konyolo at Boiler Room. So like it's still very much there and it's in rotation. It's just not what you're looking for or like what people in particular are looking for.
But you know the thing is, Sasa,
so it's not as popular. It's just there.
You remember what Tim told us? We're outliers.
Exactly. To me niko like I'll admit like najuanga what musical bubble I'm in. I'm very aware of that and I never close myself to that. But like I'm not in a bubble because I don't say things like Gengetone is dead when I know that it's not dead. It's just not in my orbit right now. Like it'll find me and it does.
But here's the thing. So imagine you are a 28-year-old government secretary living in your estate.
Damn. That hit a bit close to.
So, no, not generalizing against government secretaries
or 28-year-olds.
Or 28 estate. So, but now that is the average music consumer in Kenya.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if Gengetone is not within their line of sight, immediate line of sight, they will not look
it's
for
not
it.
there.
It's not. It doesn't exist. Anything that does not exist here. You ask yourself who listens to Bahati's music.
But my problem is like making proclamations like that when your main job is to amplify this music. Like I I feel like if it's your responsibility or you've given yourself that responsibility, saying things like Gengetone is dead is kind of clickbaity because it's not, and you know it's not.
No, it's not.
And you know that you can dig for it, and you know that you'll probably find it because you have that like leverage. But yeah, like kila mtu admit to obit yake na like what they have control over. If you don't have control over like how much Gengetone is getting into your scene,
my thinking was it's not even about
but it's not calling
being
you
dead.
out to anything.
It's not about being dead, Data.
Yeah.
It's basically like how can you explain what happened to Gengetone? Like ideally a genre should go from strength to strength. Like if in the evolutionary process, like the weak die out, the strong continues. But at the end of the day, we're in a position where even with like the guys who started the OGs, Akina Ethic, Akina Boondocks, they're all putting out music, yes, and it's not as popular as before. It's still as good. It's not just as popular. But then the guys who are now like Kina Fathamona, Kina Nani, even their music isn't as popular as Kina Ethic were. Like there's a disconnect somewhere where like Gengetone just dropped off. And we can't explain why it dropped off. And we're all just looking at it like, okay, sasa tulifika hapa aje. Because if I was to ask you like the biggest Gengetone song of the last few years is like, hata last year tu, unasema nini kuna. Ama kasikie vibaya huko kwenyu. There was a time Gengetone was the zeitgeist. It defined the zeitgeist completely. And now it exists in itself, but in the periphery. And that's
sad, yeah.
Even when I wrote it down, I was like, what
sad.
happened to Gengetone? I really would like to know just, ilifika wapi that it all went left for such a wonderful genre to the point where, because sailors don't make Gengetone anymore. Like some of those guys are making Mugithi.
So I feel like there's something to consider in the way that some of these genres die. Or what I think I've noticed over time, because me vitu nafanyanga ni kuangalia tu vile watu wanaongea about a certain thing when it peaks and when it drops, and I've been like alive long enough to kind of just see the way the discourse shifts like almost automatically. So there's this like peak where people are like finding songs, sharing them. They're like, hey, umesikia song, like it's not a song that I would ordinarily like, but like I love it, and then they'll post it and everybody will love it and it goes viral and it becomes, like the defining genre of the zeitgeist or whatever. And then people start to say, I don't know why X group, or I don't know why people like Gengetone so much. This and this and this is wrong with it. This and this and this is wrong with it. That like one opinion or like couple of opinions like mushrooms into just a way of thinking for other people that even like brings down the number of people that will probably want to listen to it anyway, because kama umse na namtrust na amesema hii kitu ina sound sijui aje, or maybe it's a sound thing, like maybe the sound just didn't pick with people after a certain amount of time. like the way, like you can still say that there's blues, but blues itself has evolved. You can still say that there's country, but it evolved. So maybe it's just finding like what those little subgroups of like that developed out of Gengetone look like and what they're called. But Gengetone itself wasn't even the name of the genre. It's just people trying to put a label on a thing. So how can we now grow from that label and have like other labels that like define how that thing has evolved since then? Because it has. It's just, when you're fed at like the raw version or like the first version of a sound, you think it's going to sound like that forever, but it's not. So maybe it's still even like widely circulated. It's just not what people remember to be Gengetone.
Do you think the pandemic has a part to play in this?
Yes.
Because Gengetone is outside music. It's like tuko sherehe. Because we never actually experienced it in the club. Even that song, like Bad Manners, we never experienced it in the club. We never experienced ingoma ya Femi One. Naitangwaje? Femi One na Major. Utawezana. Like guys in Burundi, in TZ, were jamming out to those songs. And us tuko kwa nyumba tu. Tunasikia ngoma YouTube. Like you can't actually... I feel like even the scene also has to play a part in this. Because if you're not outside... Because you can't listen to Gengetone in the house, maze. Utaanza kusikia kama mwenda wazimu.
You brought up an interesting point with Utawezana. Because Utawezana spread during the pandemic on TikTok. So TikTok Gengetone is still there. I'm assuming. It's like not the same as,
TikTok
like...
is such a strange place.
Yeah, it is a strange place.
It's such a strange place. You never know anything that can happen.
There's so many Gengetone songs there that we probably don't even know. You just bump into it.
Yeah.
Like, I would never have had that sometime. Sometime. If I wasn't there. There's music
do you know how old that song
we
is?
don't listen to. Yeah.
That song is so old. I even saw like TikTok put Sure Thing, Miguel, in the top 10 of Billboard charts. Like his highest charting song of all time is Sure Thing. And that is almost 14 years after release. Because Sure Thing was the first single of his rebrand. You remember when he used to make like Usher music? Miguel used to be like Anava, like with the white shirt and the white t-shirt and the oversized shirt.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Jeez, can't imagine Miguel doing that now. But anyway. So something happened to Gengetone. And like, stuck someone post-mortem, but please, we just need to figure out what the fuck happened. Because how can it go from being the most dominant genre in East Africa to guys talking about it like, you guys still listen to Gang. You're not that cool, by the way. Because Gengetone is great. It's so much fun.
But you remember when like rappers were doing like some really crazy shit, like when accents picked up, when people started using more accents and seeing that like this is going to get people far, like people with accents started making Kenyan music or things like that.
Oh.
And how people started saying, mbona mna sound hivo na nini wa Kenya, sijui nini. So that music also like just, it stayed wherever like it did. Or people appreciated it. It depends. Like, you can't predict audience behaviors, I think.
Yes.
You're always just going to find
this is your fault. All of you at home. Ni makosa yenyu. It's not ours, by the way. Sisi personally, safi kama pamba. Ni makosa yenyu. Now,
but if you think, let us know what you think about Gengetone as well.
Yeah, do you still listen to Gengetone? Is it on your rotation? Do you still have ngoma za ethic?
Are there new artists? Are there new people that we haven't heard that are still like dabbling in Gengetone or trying to develop what it sounded like?
Do you know my favorite Gengetone song? It's a song called Mtoto wa Kidelta by some guys in it. I've forgotten the name, but it's so it embodies everything that I love about Gengetone. It's very raw. Like they shot that video kwa, those container malls that kuna wines, kuna mama nauza nguo, sijui kuna nini. They shot that video there and then they had not bottles of Glenfiddich. The cans that Glenfiddich come in. They had that. So I don't know if there are bottles inside, but that song is so raw and I love it. Mtoto wa Kidelta amebeba. Oh, you need to go check it out, by the way. It's so dope.
I will.
Yeah.
So the next thing you wanted to talk about was artist names.
Artist names.
Yeah.
Because I was having this discussion with a friend of mine, and she was telling me how there's a rapper called Ken the Man. And that is such an amazing name.
Why is it an amazing name?
Ken the Man, and you're a babe.
Ooh. Oh, it's like Uncle Waffles. Like Uncle Waffles is also just like,
an amazing
no one knows
name.
What to expect.
Hey.
No one knows what to expect.
I just sat down and I was like thinking, you know what? What are some really good artist names? Because me, I've always wondered, like, nobody has ever taken Young Thug is an amazing artist name. Like for a rapper,
Yeah.
Young Thug. It's so simple. Ghana.
I think probably the most endearing one for me is Q-tip. I feel like I'll never get over Q-tip because like you're in my ear, you know that you just know, like that's believing.
Layers. It's just not a name. I hate names that make me think.
And even Nani, like Black Thought. I was saying Black Thought's name is also really good, but like his real name is even better than his artist name. If he rapped as Tariq Trotter, I'd still listen. Like it's still a really good name.
A name sells everything. Like I found out that the guy who does testing for Lamborghinis at the track is called Max Venturi. Like, just listen to that name, Max Venturi. That's the name of a race car driver. That's why if I hear a rapper called Money Man, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, about the money.
Why has no one before you taken this name? And honestly, the only rapper with a good name that has Young in it is Young Thug. Every other Young, every other Lil, that's not a good name.
Lil Minor. Support to Lil Minor, bro.
No. It's not about...
It's a nice name.
It's not a nice name.
Even Sabihu is a nice name.
Sabihu is an amazing name.
Sabihu is actually a fantastic name.
It's a fantastic name. Ken the Man.
No, Lil Minor is good because it's memorable. Like the thing about a good rap name is it's supposed to be memorable and original, and it's both of those things.
It should never.
He's Lil and he's Minor.
Even as an artist,
I know everything about him now.
If somebody says you should even be known by one word, Kama Madonna, but just one word. If somebody says Taga, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you say Ghana, everybody knows who you're talking about. If you have to tell me, like some artists transcend their name, guys like Kendrick Lamar, because again, using your real name.
Yeah, and
using your real name is cool, and if it's an interesting name, but
go for it.
If you have a name like Jeru the Damaja, first of all, what's a Damaja? I want to know. Explain here. Do I have to like get a dictionary, a thesaurus, to find out why you're calling yourself that name? All this old dirty bastard. That is an amazing rap name. Old dirty bastard is a really
nice name.
Yeah.
Project Pat. It's got like that alliteration.
Yeah. As long as
it's an alliteration. The first letter. Like, it's pa, 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 pa.
Even before, I feel like the two things, even before you, like as an artist, even before you, even before you get to the music, your voice, how it sounds, and the name you use.
Yeah.
Those two things are so... Do you know a name I hate?
What?
Atomic Kitten.
Why? It's such a good name.
No, for a pop group, it doesn't make... What's atomic about the kitten?
See, it's just the way like rock bands used to come up with names as well.
No, rock bands are weird. We'll give them that.
And DJs, like I think one of my favorite DJ names, low-key, is DJ Boring, because like you're not boring. Like if you come out the gate with a name like DJ Boring, I'm gonna wanna know what's so boring. It's not.
Do you know the thing with me is I would not call myself DJ Boring because I understand that the audience is not particularly smart. Some people take things at face value.
But
it's like you see that advert the advert that these guys had, Sky Garden. Really, don't visit Sky Garden. How many people do you think listened to that advert and like actually took away the message to be don't visit Sky Garden?
No, see, it's those people that like the people that appreciate reverse psychology are the people that this person is trying to reach out to. That's the audience that they want.
That's
like,
okay, so if you say it like that,
like you can assume that the rest of the people won't understand, but the ones who are supposed to, they get it. They're like, unaniambia nini sasa? I'm there. Exactly. Charlie XCX even.
What does the XCX mean?
What does the XCX mean? Hey, name, guy.
What does
the
XCX? It make more sense.
What does the XCX mean? Who knows? But it's provocative. You still listen to the project. So it did its job. There's some names that I just... Now, you remember last year I told you that there's a project I didn't listen to? Ethan Muziki, because I saw somebody like... He had a very bad rap name and I was like, no, I'm not listening to this. Revolutionary Spitter. Exactly. Revolutionary Spitter, if you're seeing this, bado tunakupenda. Like, it was actually a really great collab, but yeah, I mean, hater. Yeah, first no, if it's not a good name, then you can say that. I did not. It reminds me of people like, it's like you're listening to Chino XL. That's the type of vibes Chino XL. It's the type of vibes I'm getting off Revolutionary Spitter. It feels like you're going to tell me about Che Guevara. No, it's a christening. Like, names are a christening. The thing about, like, coming up with a good artist name, which, like, I've been asking around for a while because I love Sookie, but it's time. I don't know, it just feels like it's to be time something else. To be something else. Sookie unique. Sookie ilikuwa jina high school. Like, so, you know the way like you're Hafare. You don't fuck like, up a good thing. You were born out of the gate with your trap name. How great is it?
Oh my God, Jesus.
Some of us had to watch things. We had to research. We had to figure out if this was our
You
persona.
don't- but you don't
if this
fuck
is
up
what
a good
it's going
thing.
to sound like. Yeah, you don't fuck up a good thing. So you're good. Like, wow, kosawa.
Oh, you think Sookie isn't good?
No, Sookie is a nice name. My real name is also great. I just feel like sometimes, and that's where like the aspect of it being a christening comes in. You need to choose something to embody. It becomes your alias. It becomes your alter ego. It becomes the person that you are when you're performing, when you're writing things. The mindset that you want to cultivate becomes, why this is your name. Like, I'll say this because this is something that I'd be talking about it with Lou actually, because Lou has gone through so many name transitions. If you know, like there were some names that worked for a certain period, transitioned to something else, and then now he has the asterisk, right? It's just finding what works for you in that space that you're in. I didn't like it when Diddy did it the first time.
I know we're not going
There are
to.
people who still call him Puff Daddy.
I didn't even know Azimo. That's have an identity crisis every 3 months. And I'm kind of like his big ass nini sweatsuit and those giant shades, and he's like, I'm back to being Puff Daddy, and then I'm Puffy, and then I'm Diddy, and then I'm P Diddy. Like ideally, like signing his checks must be a problem. So many alter egos.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be an artist, make sure you choose a good name.
If you were going to pick a stage name, what would it be? And like, let's say someone just said like Maurice Hafare, just say nothing. Just, like change your name, find something
I
that
already found
represents a new persona.
I already found my persona.
Rocky Ramon.
No. Rodney Casino.
Rodney Casino.
With a K.
Actually, yeah, Rodney Casino.
Rodney Casino with a K. Like.
Oh, Ramon si wewe ni beshte yako.
Shout out to the legendary Reza Ramon and Louis Ramon.
Reza Ramon.
That's an amazing. Reza Ramon is an amazing stage name.
The things were happening in my head, so yeah.
I'm saying, are you okay today?
Nico Fiti.
Are you experiencing heat stroke?
No, I have a traffic jam in my brain. It's okay.
It's okay.
I possibly am suffering from it. It's so hot. Wow.
Anyway,
yeah.
I think we've got to the end of the show.
Yes, we are.
And if you've gotten this far, I want you to remember one thing. If you're gonna be a rapper, don't use Lil or Young, please.
If you're gonna use Lil, make sure that like it's like Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is actually a good name also. So you can still use Lil.
They're good, but they're not the pantheon of greats.
Because
Because like in my mind, I'm just like thinking about like the greatest. Hey, like Ken the Man. That's an amazing name. Yeah. Mulatto was an amazing name until like people made her change it for obvious reasons. Obvious. Like it was racist. It wasn't even a borderline. It was racist.
So how was it a good name before?
No, it's still sorry good Mulatto.
It
Anyway,
rolls off the tongue because it's a foreign language, but in the foreign language itself, it's insulting. So
Gucci Mane.
It's a good name. Gucci Mane is such a good
Exactly.
name. Gucci Mane is such a good name. I had a nickname that was attached to it a few years back. I'm never going to talk about it again.
Where?
But
Okay.
good artist name.
Unaniambia
You
tukitoka.
need it to be original and something that rolls off people's tongue, something exciting, something that tells them something about you and what you like.
Or it could be
and
something completely
what to
made up,
expect.
as long as it sounds good. That's the most important thing. Lie to these niggas.
I mean, yeah.
Anyway, this is the end of the episode, I guess, 27. I never really, even if I say it at the beginning, I always forget it by the end. So I'm hoping this is the correct, I'm saying the correct thing. This is 27. Thank you guys for vibing with us. We'll see you next week. That's all I have to say.
Next week. Bye.